Hello, and welcome to See the World with Chris. I have a wonderful guest star for my debut live performance. Hello, Russ.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. See, we should what's the word? We should do a rehearsal before this happens.
Yeah, that would be
Well,
good.
I think the problem is because I've always used an Android and I switched over to Apple, and Apple's just a piece of crap. And I know how to work an Android. No, I'm kidding. That was something having to do with what's the equivalent of Siri. We have Bixby or whoever she is, and the mics were getting crisscrossed, if that makes any sense. So I basically had to restart my phone.
Wow.
So
Well, I
I
appreciate
need,
you sticking around for me.
I know I appreciate you sticking around, but real quick, I need my brother, I know is watching. I need him to just send me a text message, uh, so that I can know that he can hear me at this point.
Okay.
He'll send me a text, and we can go. But while I'm waiting on that, we can. I'm trying to get you adjusted, get me in the middle of the screen, and try
All
to do
right.
this on my glasses, because I turned 61 today, and I'm
Yep,
old
I
and
was
decrepit.
going to tell you happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much, man. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me on your show. I apologize for the technical difficulties that I created, but you live and you learn, right?
Right. And, like I said, this is something new for me. And, you actually made me feel better, because, you're the professional and this is all life, man. So, hey, we're just having fun.
Well,
So,
I'm not a professional when it comes to what's the word? When it comes to electronics and computers and that kind of stuff. Professional comedy, I can do. And also, like I said, I'm doing this on my phone. A lot of you guys have a computer set up and stuff. I haven't used a computer in probably 5 years. I do everything on my phone. Everything is done on my phone, and eventually I can figure it out.
yeah. Well, I'm in IT, and when I get home, everything's on my phone. And sometimes
Oh,
it
yeah.
works on my phone. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, I got to do a shout out real quick.
Sure.
This is to my brother Bud, who is at, oh man, I've got to get this right. I had written it down earlier. He is at he's at the, oh man, hold on. Claire Waters Correctional Center. I guess that's right. He's in prison. That's what I'm trying to say. So I, you know, he's my brother is locked down right now. He's in the joint.
Oh, no.
It's not a it's not a county jail. It's not the pokey. He's in prison,
Oh,
and
wow.
how he's able to watch this, I have no idea. But a shout out to my brother Bud. I love you, man. I know you're getting out soon, and a shout out to your homeboys that are in there with you. You guys stay safe. Stay away from that Rona. Yeah, he's in prison. He'll tell you he lives in a gated community, but he had a 2-year lease.
That's true. It is a gated community.
It is. He got his lease is up. His lease is up this month. So I think his lease is up this month. I'm not sure. And we chat when we can. He's in Oklahoma City. I'm actually going to be in Oklahoma City at the Looney Bin Comedy Club next week, September 9th through the 12th. And the 12th is a Saturday, and that's actually visiting day at the Correctional Center. And I'm going to go try to see my brother. That's the big plans for next week, and to make people laugh in Oklahoma City.
Cool. Well, I've told several of my friends that that you're coming on, and a lot of them know you through the drive-by comedy.
Oh, okay.
So I know that's made I guess made some good what do you call it, exposure for you?
Yeah, and money wise, it's made me, wow, probably tens of dollars. That's probably what it's made me. No, actually, exposure wise, yeah, it's done very well. I have over on my clips that they've put up, I have well over 20 million views on the 2 clips that they've released, and they've also released the entire comedy special. I recorded mine the first season, and they're on their 5th season right now filming. So people that are out there in your YouTube TV land, they can go to Drybar. They can download the app, Drybar Comedy app, from your Play Store or App Store, whatever it's called, and they can download the app, and you can search Russ Nagel, and they can watch my show for absolutely free. And if you don't have access to an app, the store, you could go to drybarcomedy.com/Russ, and I think it costs $1 to watch my show. Hence me making tens of dollars since they released that.
Yeah.
I get a quarterly check, and we haven't gotten the second quarter yet, so apparently no one's watching my special.
Well, we certainly watched it, and loved every minute of it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So, we had a little bit of, technical, glitches in the beginning, but I did want to, talk to you about, so I found out about you through, Carnival as a Punchliner comedian, so we were looking to, sail on the Vista last year, and
okay,
they had all the, the emergency dry dock for it and everything, and we were trying to figure out who was going to be the comedian, and they weren't, saying much about it, and so I'd been following, the Facebook, group, and trying to look and see, and I saw that you were a possibility, so we started looking at some of your videos and see
okay.
And so, we just, fell in love with your humor, and, we listened to a bunch of other comedians, and, my wife has just chimed in, he's funnier than anybody I've heard.
Well, thank you, cousin Chris.
but no, so you've been a Carnival comedian, and not just for Carnival, for Princess and, some of the other lines. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I've been doing comedy since October 3rd of 1989. That's when I started on the road. That was my first road gig. I quit my job working at cable television in September. I went on the road October 3rd, 1989. This is the only thing I've done for 30 years. And I started with Carnival somewhere February of 2007. So I've been with them for 13 years, and with Princess Cruise Lines, I've been with them for 4 or 5 years, and this is all I do. I do the ships. The Vista. My sister is sailing on the Vista. There's a shout out to my sister Rhonda. She's usually watching. She says she's my #1 fan. I'll find out today. She's supposed to be on the Vista in December, so we may be sailing again by then. Not sure though.
Cool. Well, so I happen to, know a little bit because, toward the tail end of your last gig with Carnival, there was some stuff happening. So, you were like in Vietnam or something?
Oh, no, you're well, that's this may or may not have been me. Let's put it like that. The COVID-19, basically, I believe, well, hence the term 19 was discovered in 2019, and I may or may not have been on the Diamond Princess cruise ship when the outbreak started. I may or may not have been on that ship. When I may or may not have gotten off that ship, January the 30th, about 10 days or 2 weeks later, that's when they quarantined that ship off the coast of Japan, I believe. But I was tested and all that stuff. After I found out, I didn't even know about it, to be honest with you. I came back, watched the news, went to my next ship, and they were taking my temperature. I'm like, what's this all about? And they told me about the COVID-19 outbreak, and asked me if I'd been to China, and asked me if I'd been to China in the past 14 days, which I had not been to China. And I'm not me; it's a friend of mine. I had I got off the ship in Vietnam, and I flew through China, in Taipei. I flew to Taipei and spent about 4 hours there in the lounge, and then I came back home to the States. So I didn't bring that stuff over here. Please don't blame me for it.
Yeah. Well, that was some crazy times back then, though.
Yeah.
Another thing that that I followed with you, and I'm sorry if I cut you off there.
Sure.
Another thing that that we followed with you was, you do the late night tales from your cabin
Oh,
after your shows. So that's always an interesting look. Yeah.
that here's what I'm trying to do in this off season that we're not working. I haven't worked since March. I was steadily. I've worked a couple of gigs, and I'm going, like I said, next week. I'll tell you exactly what I've done. I've done 5 shows since March. The late night tales from my cabin was something that I started after my shows. I'd go back to my room and basically just do a little self video or whatever, and talk about my shows or where we were or what port we were in. And I tried to keep them short, but sometimes they would run 6, 7, 8 minutes. And then what I did is when we got the cruise industry stopped, basically what I'm doing now is something called are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because my view over here, I lost my view of you. Well, there you are.
Yeah, I switched it to a single view.
Oh, okay. Well, don't screw me around like that. I don't know what's going on. I thought I lost you, man. So anyway, my late night tales from my cabin are now called late night. Now called tales from the car wash because I'm home.
Yeah.
Because I'm home, and I have the monthly pass at my car wash for both my cars, and I can go once a day in both cars. I go once a day. The car wash, I start filming as soon as it starts pushing me through the car wash. I start filming, and it usually takes about 2 to 2.5 minutes. And I kind of just tell people what's going on. A lot of people like them. Some people don't. I've gotten hate mail. Tell me tales from the car wash is stupid. I'm like, why do you even watch? But this, I stay relevant with my friends, my family, and people that have followed my career. That's what I do now.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely watched a bunch of them. So you almost lost your car wash pass, didn't you, or something was changing?
What are you, a stalker? My Lord, no one keeps up with me that much. You said, did I lose my pass? Is that what you said?
You talked about your pass maybe not good anymore or something to that effect.
Well, where I live, the car wash we were using, which was a great place. In fact, it's called Quick and Clean. I live north of Salt Lake City, and in a little town called Clinton, Utah. It's a suburb, basically. We're just south of Ogden, Utah. And anyway, the car wash that we were using was about a mile from my house, 1.5 miles. And I would go up there every day, just jump in the car, go up, wash my car, do my tails. And they got bought out by a bigger company. And what they doubled their price. Right, they only offered one package, like the top of the line package, and my price per car went from $20 per month to $40 a month. I was paying $40 for 2 cars. Now they want to jump up to $80. They didn't offer any other plan, and I tried to work a deal with them, and they just kind of wouldn't have it. And so about 2.5 miles from my house is another place that I go to called Cliff's Car Wash. And it's actually, they give me, not because of anything that they know me, they give me a multi-car discount. And on a multi-car discount, I get a free, I don't know what I get. I get a free detail once a year. And I have 2 cars for $35 a month instead of $80. So that's why I switched. The other people were great, but somebody like me that's kind of unemployed, $40 to $80 was a big jump. And again, earlier, my birthday, I'm 61. I'm not washing my own car.
Right.
So I'm above all that. I'm not above it. I'm not above it. I'm I don't want to do it. I better things to do with whatever I've got left in my life.
Yep. All right. Well, so back to your late night tales with Russ. So, tell us about. So, you get a regular cabin, or you sleep in crew quarters?
You mean like, do I get a passenger cabin?
Right.
No. Let's see. How can I word this? I get on Carnival, on Princess, I get what is called ACD crew cabin, which is equivalent to the assistant cruise director cabin. I get a crew cabin, or I get a cabin. It's bigger, it has a window, and it's in the crew area, but it's a little nicer cabin than a regular crew cabin per se. On Carnival, which I love Carnival, people know that. I'm in an actual crew cabin. I have no windows. I have no windows. I have sometimes just a twin bed that I'm 5'8", 200 pounds. I can fall out of. That's how small it is. It's probably as big as my brother's cell, as a matter of fact. And no, I don't get a passage on Carnival. I'm down below with the crew. I'm so far down below. You know what's in my room? You know what I have? I have oars. That's what I have. That's how far down below I am. I got the drain plug of the ship. That's what I have with Carnival. But it's a good gig. People that know me know that I never disparage any club, comic, or any club, or I disparage comics all the time. Clubs or ships or corporate events or anything like that. It's a good gig. The rooms, actually, I like the crew cabins on Carnival because once you shut the door, it is complete. You can put your hand in front of your face. You can't see it. It's nice. You lose track of time.
Yeah, I do like the interior room for that reason.
Right. Exactly. My sister cruises a lot, and she, I have to have a balcony, and I'm like, well, I have a balcony. I just have to go up on Lido, look out, and I go, oh, look, it's water, and then I just go back to my cabin.
Yeah, I've had just about every kind of cabin except just the ocean view. I've had a suite, had a half balcony. I've had interior, and when you turn the light out and go to sleep, it don't matter where you're at, as long as you're coming.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you really need to know your way around that cabin, because if you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom,
it's dark.
It's it's dark. Actually, when I get to a new ship, I've worked all of Carnival's ships, but when I get to a ship that I haven't been on in a while, usually the first night I'll leave the bathroom light on with the door shut, so I at least have a vision of approximately where the bathroom is. And once I get there to open the door at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, of course, I turn the light off before I go in, because I don't want to wake up completely.
Yep. Well, so are you married and got any kids? What do they think about all your being on the road so long? When I came home March 16th, I found out that I was married. Isn't that amazing? Of course I'm married. My wife and I have been together for January we'll be married 18 years, and December we've been together for 19 years. So yeah, I'm married, and I have my 2 stepdaughters, which I don't prefer that, but their names are Excess and Baggage. I have those 2, and Baggage, she just had a baby, so now I have Excess, Baggage, and a carry-on. And then we've got those are they're my daughters. I mean, they're not mine, but they're mine. I've practically raised them along with my wife. And then we have a son, Taryn. Actually, Taryn. So we talked about my brother earlier, who's locked down. My brother, we call my brother Bud, and that's kind of why he's locked down, because of Bud. But he's going to kill me when he gets out. Then he'll go back in. Then he'll go back in. Okay, so anyway, he's locked down. His birth name is Terry, and I have a little brother
his name is Darren. So what I did is I took those two names and I combined them, and when I combined them, and we named my son Terran with a T, Terran. So that we have him, and then I have kids from another marriage, and but yeah, I was married, but the time when I don't get me wrong, and I word this in the I'm getting a phone call. In the 18.
Okay, looks like we dropped Russ out there for a minute. Give him a minute and he'll come back in. I think he got a phone call. But while we're waiting on him to come back in, I'm having a chance to look at the chat. So, I think he's coming back in. Give me a minute.
Did I make it back?
There we go. We're back.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was getting a phone call, and I don't know if that caused me to go offline or something, or because I'm on Wi-Fi, even though I'm a foot from the router.
Right.
But anyway, my son, he's named after my two brothers, Terry and Darren. And I said earlier, I found out I was married. Now, I've been happily married for almost 18 years, but this stretch in the 18 years the 19 years that my wife and I have been together, the longest stretch that I've been home and not away from her was 17 days. In those almost 19 years together, that's the longest I've ever been home, 2.5 weeks. And now, hey, I think I hear your dogs. And now I have been home since March 16th, and it's 5 months later, 5, almost 6 months. My wife and I have been together every night except for two nights. And that was because she had to go take care of her mother one night. And another night I went on the road over to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and did a show. So we're a little worried about me going on the road next Wednesday, being gone for 4 days. We don't know if that'll break our marriage or not.
So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I don't know if that was me. I bumped the tripod and I was rocking back and forth because I'm doing this totally without my glasses, and I can just see your shadowy figure. I can just see the shadowy figure, and yeah. I know that I'm on the right side of my phone, and that's it. So, and I bumped the tripod. I don't think I said anything. I may have. I don't know.
Well, that's fine. If you did or didn't, we'll get on through with it, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So one of the things about your character is you ride a motorcycle. And so I noticed you actually rode a motorcycle to your last gig. Are you going to ride the one in Oklahoma City?
To be honest with you, I thought about it. I did think about it because Oklahoma City from my house is about, I got to go on a limb, say I think it's about 16 hours, maybe 17. But the cool thing is I could have left here north of Salt Lake City, driven across Wyoming, or rode across Wyoming, ridden across. I'm from the South. I don't know which verb to use. I could have rode, and something doesn't sound right. Could have got on my motorcycle and gone over to Colorado Springs. That's where my brother normally lives. And I could have stayed at his house overnight. That would have been about a 10-hour ride. And then I would have made the next 6 hours or so to Oak City. So that did cross my mind about riding to Oklahoma City. There was a plan in the works for me to ride when my brother got out. There was a plan in the works for me to ride over to Colorado Springs. I just like to ride. I don't really necessarily have a place to go, but I needed just a reason. And I was going to ride over to Colorado Springs and put my motorcycle and his motorcycle up on a trailer and hook it up to his truck. And the day he got out, I was going to drive down to Oklahoma City, and when he comes out the gate, put him on his motorcycle, and him and I ride back home while his wife drives the truck back home. But for some reason, he wants to get out of jail and go spend some time with his wife, do their little whatever they do instead of being on the motorcycle with me. And you said the character that I do, the character that I do, people say something about being a biker. You can call me a biker, you can call me an enthusiast. I don't, he rides a motorcycle. I have ridden motorcycles since I was about 9 years old. I started off with a little mini bike, and then I got my street bikes and a race bike. I had a Honda Goldwing. It's only been a little bit of a stretch where I didn't own a motorcycle. So, when I started doing comedy, and at one point in my career, I was in a suit and tie. That's how I dressed. Suit and tie, or maybe a sports coat, or however I dressed. And in 2005, I just started I went on stage. I'll skip how that all came about, but I went on stage dressed up. I was on my motorcycle. I went on stage in my, I think I had chaps on, my leathers, my cut, bandana, everything. And when I came off stage, I was like, oh, that's the hook I'm looking for. People will remember the biker guy. There's people right now, I don't know if my name is on your screen, but people watch my show on the ships and watch me 5 times doing my shows and say, at the end of the week, they go, what is your name? I forgot your name. Really? I say it 3 times in my show. They say it 5 times when they introduce me. They say it 5 times at the end when they say, how about a hand for Russ Nagel? So people don't remember that, but they remember the biker guy. Yeah. So the suit and tie, the sports coat, the T-shirts, the vests, the sweaters, every stage that I've been through over 30 years, that was a character. The biker thing is not a character. That's me. I consider myself a biker that does comedy. I'm wearing this motorcycle shirt. You can see that. That's the year my daughter graduated. It's not really. That's people that are watching that know anything about motorcycle clubs. They know what that 81 stands for, and that's another shout out to someone that they know who I'm talking about. Because I don't want to get in a big hassle with other motorcycle clubs that go, oh. But so it's that's not a character, man. That's just me. I was riding today. I just like to ride.
Yeah, I've got a Suzuki V-Strom.
A Suzuki, what was that?
V-Strom. V-S-T-R-O-M. Suzuki V-Strom. So
B as in boy, B as in Bravo,
V as in victory.
Oh, V as in victory. V-Strom.
Yeah.
V.
So it's kind of a cross between a dirt bike and a crotch rocket.
So it's a dirt bike. So it's okay. I have no joke for that.
Yeah.
I was trying to put them together real quick.
But yeah, it's a sport bike that I can take off road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess once you get my age, you don't want to go off road anymore. Again, we'll get back to my brother. I don't know. I'm 61. He's younger than me. He's at least 50, 55. I don't know. And he used to race motocross when he was younger. And just in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, he bought him another dirt bike, 450 or I don't know, 5, whatever it is. It's big and it's fast. And he goes out in Colorado and he gets on the hills and he jumps and he crashes and breaks his collarbone because he's not a spring chicken anymore. I try to tell him that. So, and I tell people, I ride a Harley, but I haven't always ridden a Harley. I've ridden a lot of motorcycles. I've had a Suzuki, a GS 1000 back in the day with a turbo on it that I used to race.
Isn't the GS 1000? Isn't that similar to the Concours? Are you familiar with that bike?
I am not familiar with that. This would have been in 82-ish, give or take, because I had an 82 Kawasaki GPZ 1100. I think that's right, which I used to race.
I've got I need to put it back together, but I've got a Kawasaki ZG 1000.
Okay.
So it's the same. I think it's the same engine, but mine has got the windshield and the cowling and they look like you remember those portable projector bags, in the big suitcase,
like on a BMW.
Yeah. So it was like two little bags they tacked on the back of it. So it was a cross country adventure bike. So you could take luggage and you had your windshield. I mean, I've ridden in rain, pouring down rain, and if you go fast enough, that wind bubble that you're in, I don't even get wet.
Yeah. A memory popped up on my wife's Facebook the other day, because when my brother, they got married, he got married in Colorado Springs. We rode over, our little brother, our youngest brother, he rode over from Monterey, California to my house, which was about 10 hours for him, 10 or 11 hours. He rode to my house here north of Salt Lake City. He spent the night. We got up on Thursday. We rode the 10 hours over to Colorado Springs, spent 2 or 3 days there, and coming back home, we got caught. And my wife rides. This was her first really biker trip, and we got caught in a hailstorm / monsoon. A piece of hail, if that's the right word, the size of your end of your pinky, whatever, hit my wife in the lip at we were probably going about 30 miles an hour because we couldn't see, if that, and just split her lip open. And she became a biker that day. So we've been caught in all that. Both of my brothers, well, let's go down the list. There's 6 of us. My sister, oldest sister, she's the glue of the family per se. She used to ride. She wants another motorcycle. And then our brother next under her, he rode for a long time, and I don't know why he stopped. Well, let's start with my dad. My dad, I have a picture somewhere of me sitting on my dad's lap when I was less than 9 months old, less than a year old, and he's sitting on his Vespa. So my dad, who passed in 2012, I believe, at the age of 88, he rode all his life. So he started it. And then my brother rode, my sister rode, I ride. My brother Bud has been riding since he was in the womb. And then Darren, the youngest, has been riding for quite some time. All of our wives ride. My brothers, both my brothers, Darren, his girlfriend, I think, rides. My wife rides. We all ride. My dad rode up until he could no longer hold up his motorcycle, and that's when my brothers and I got Harleys. We were riding Gold Wings along with my dad, and he couldn't hold up his motorcycle anymore. And my brothers, we offered to pitch in and buy my dad a Harley Davidson trike.
Yeah.
And my dad, being the New Yorker that never came out of him, that even though he lived in Louisiana the last 40, 50 years of his life, we said, Dad, we'll buy you a trike. And my dad looked at my brothers and I, he goes, I'm not a pussy. I was like, okay, Dad. I don't know how clean I'm supposed to keep that. I'll never forget that. And so we had good times on the motorcycles, man.
That's funny. Well, let me see. Trying to look at some of the questions I was going to ask you. Everything goes so fast,
So I'll put on my glasses a second. Oh, okay. I have food coming, Uber Eats, and I'm just seeing what time. But go ahead. Sorry.
What are you having for dinner?
We ordered from where did we order from? We ordered from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, nice.
So my son and I are having just wings and buffalo hot sauce. My son Taryn, my 17-year-old, and then my wife had a Philly cheesesteak. I don't know, $40 worth.
Yep.
Time you pay all the fees. We were lazy, so that's that's coming here around 7. So anyway, we're getting back to the questions that you had.
So one of the things that in prepping for the show, I was watching some of the links you sent me. It was a pretty good little write-up or a little bio they had about you on Lonely Ben's Club website. I have the URL's been posted in the chat.
Okay.
So anyway, so we were looking at the little clip, and we particularly got a laugh out of your one where the captain talks about how deep the water is. It's like he comes and I'll I'll just purchase that to say with the 12 o'clock announcements, the captain comes on to mate. It's like, I'm sitting there having a drink on the Lido, and he tells me we're 20,000 feet, above the bottom, and I'm like, I didn't need that mental picture.
I'm not sure. The only joke that I know that I do close to that, and it's funny you brought up, you said something, and I'm thinking, I haven't forgotten my act, but when you don't work for 5 or 6 months, it's tough. But I did do a joke. The captain would tell us how deep the water is, and I said, I don't care how deep the water is as long as we stay on top. That was the joke that I had written.
I'm sorry.
It's probably been written by everybody. Maybe you're thinking of another comic. I have no idea.
But no, that's something, as far as about being on the water on the ship all the time, it's like I don't think about how big the ship is. I don't think about, I've been on a couple of times. It's, you could, really feel the ocean, which I imagine as long as you stay on the ship, you've been through quite a bit of weather on the ocean, haven't you?
Oh yeah. It's, I don't know how many times you've cruised, but sometimes when we're hitting rough water, you'll know when it's really rough is when you see that the cruise line has put out throw up bags, whatever you want to call them, around the ship. They'll put them by the elevators because people getting seasick and stuff. That's actually the fun part for me when we're really rocky and, we're just going up and slamming down or side to side. It's just great for me. That doesn't bother me at all. But let me get this in before we get out of here shortly. We mentioned Facebook. My Facebook page, my personal page, I'm at the max of whatever they give you, 5,000 friends. I'm there, but I think people can go to my page, which is facebook.com/Russ Nagel. And I think they can follow me. And as I lose friends, I never delete anybody or anything like that. But I'll wake up and 3 or 4 people have left, or whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe they just continue their account. And then I add people that are oldest to newest, right? Yeah. So facebook.com/Russ Nagel. And then I have my fan page. You were talking about Tales from the Car Wash. That you can find if you click on my website, which is americasfunniestbiker.com. If you click on that and click on the link for Facebook, that'll take you to my fan page, which is called Knuckleheads. And you there, I put comedy stuff, and it's just, but I've got those two. My Instagram is Russ Nagel Comedy, and my YouTube channel is A as in Apple, AFB. It's America's Funniest Biker, AFB Comedy, I think. I don't do much on that.
All right. I thought I had those links to come up, and apparently at the last minute I changed it. So I've got your PayPal and Venmo stuff, but I don't have your link.
Got PayPal.
Your Oklahoma City. But yeah, so if they want to buy your CD or anything, just go to America's Funniest Video or americasfunniestbiker.com and go to the merchandise page.
Right. It's all on the first page.
Yeah.
It's all on. But I have a merchandise page, but yeah, if you go to americasfunniestbiker.com, you can scroll down and there's a place to buy. Here's how it works. You can, I don't even know what the price is on there. It's been up there so long. You can get what's a digital download, and you use whatever payment preference you would like. And it sends me an email that so-and-so paid you for a digital download. And then I send you the website, and the code to download my CD. If they want an actual CD, that's tangible, you can email me off that page and I want an actual signed CD. That's gonna, that's like $7 more, $6 more, because I have to pay for the shipping and I got to buy the postage, whatever, the envelope. But a lot of people like to have something that's tangible. So,
sure.
So anyway, but yeah, you can do that. And I appreciate you putting up my Venmo and PayPal. I think is on my website, but I just got Cash App, and I'm not even sure if it works. But if people want to find out if it works, what they can do right now is they can go on their Cash App and they can, I think it's a dollar symbol, and it's just Russ Nagel, RUSSNAG, and they can send me like $5
There you go.
or $1. I don't know
Right.
how many viewers you have right now. I don't know if this is going to replay later. I have no idea. But yeah, if somebody wants to send me $1 just to make sure my Cash App works, that's all. That's all I'm saying.
Got to find out if it works, right?
Yeah, I hope it is, man.
So, well, I guess since cruising isn't happening now, you've had to completely, kind of rearrange how you live your life, right? So,
Yes. Yes. You've been on the cruise ships, you've been to comedy clubs in your hometown. We talked the other day about you living northeast of Birmingham. I recorded my CD at the Stardome Comedy Club in Birmingham, or suburb Hoover, Alabama. Um, and you've been on the ships. We do late night shows on the ships. The adult shows start at like 9:30, and 9:30 to 11:30 and midnight, something like that. Since I have not worked a club for 2 shows, I'm in bed now at home. I'm in bed like at 9 o'clock. I'm in bed asleep by 10:30. It's great. Yeah, I've had to rearrange. I'll be honest with you, and anybody that's watching, people ask me, do I miss it? Do I miss doing comedy? I miss doing comedy. Yeah, I do miss doing comedy. I miss meeting people after the shows and talking to them, talking to bikers and stuff like that. I miss the crew on the ships. I miss meeting up with other comedian friends whether we cross in a port or in an airport, or maybe we're working together on the same ships. I miss all that. I don't miss the travel. I have to fly to Oklahoma City next week, and I'm not looking forward to getting on that plane. I'm not looking forward to packing a bag, anything like that. And I've
right.
now been home for 6 months, and I'll be perfectly honest. If this is what retirement is going to be like, I'm looking forward to retiring. But if I retired, let's say I retired in 3 years, I'd be 64. Let's say 65. Let's say I retire in 4 years, 65. I probably live comfortably for about an hour and a half, maybe. So I don't know. Right now, we're looking at working until I'm 70. So 9 more years. And then my life will be adjusted to, yeah, a lot of things have changed since the cruise line industry shut down. Next week, I'm doing a show Wednesday night, show Thursday, one show Friday, and then 2 shows on Saturday. I don't know if I can stay up that late to do a second show at 10:30.
Right. So do you get to, well, actually, I was going to ask you a stupid question, which since I said I was going to ask a stupid question, I might as well tell you how stupid it was, right? I was going to ask you, do you get to pick whether or not you have to do the late night segment? But I guess when you're on contract, you just have to rotate them. Yeah, that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah. My contract with this comedy club or Carnival, it's more of a verbal agreement, and through emails. Princess, we actually do a contract for every what we call a gig. If I come out there for 7 days, we do a contract on show length, how many shows I'm going to do, and stuff like that. Going into Oklahoma City, I know that I have 2 shows next Saturday. One at I think at 8:30 and one at 10:30 at night. And I know going in that I have 2 shows, and the only way that I wouldn't do 2 shows is if they had no one show up, or if I was unbelievably ill that I couldn't make the show. But in 30 years of doing stand-up comedy, I've never missed a show for being sick. I've been on stage with 104 fever. I've been on stage different reasons of sickness, whether it was something to do with intestines or headaches or anything like that. That old saying in our business is the show must go on, and that's what we do. The show goes on. So I can't get out of a gig once I agree to it.
Yeah. Imagine that's hard too. I mean, 104, not sure you know what I mean? Standing on stage that sick, how do you do it? You
Well,
know?
I'll tell you exactly how I did that. I've done that twice. The first time I did it was actually in a little town north of Dallas, just over the line in Oklahoma, and it was either Ardmore, Oklahoma, or I can't think of the other, Lawton, maybe. I'm not sure. It's one just over the state line of Oklahoma, and this is back when I was living in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. And it was about a 6 hour. No, it wasn't 6 hours. It was 2.5 to Dallas, another two. So it was 4 or 5 hour drive up to this town. And as I was driving there, I'm getting like leg cramps and stuff like that. And I'm feeling kind of weird. By the time I get there, I go to my hotel, I check in, and they go, here's your key. And I got back in my car and I drove to the nearest whatever store and I bought a thermometer. And this is back in the days where the mercury thermometers you put in your butt. No, the ones you put here under your tongue or under your arm, however you want to do it. I bought one of those thermometers and had it out of the package before I even got back up to the counter. And I was checking my temperature. I paid for it. My temperature was 104.
Wow.
And I went back to the hotel. I had about 3 hours till showtime, and I got ready and checked my temperature again. It was still 104, but I had to do the show and try to get to, as I had a heckler that night. I'll never forget this. I had a heckler, and it was a female, and I just wasn't in the mood. You know, I just was not in the mood to mess around with a heckler. And she said something to me, and I said, "Look, I don't want to go heels with you because I don't feel well." But she kept on. She kept on and on and on. And finally, I said to her, I said, "How much did you pay to get in here tonight?" And this was a full crowd. It was in a banquet room of a Holiday Inn. You know,
Good.
a couple hundred people. I said, "How much did you pay to get in here?" She said, I think she said $5. I'm not sure. I said, "Okay, I'll give you 10 to get out." And she says, "Okay." So she comes walking up through the crowd. She gets up to the stage. I reach in my pocket. I give her $10. And I said, "Now you got to go." She goes, "No, I'm going back to my seat." I go, "No, you're not." And I looked over at security and I said, "You need to get her out of here." And she goes, "Fine, here's your $10 back." And I said, "Oh, no, you're done. I don't care about the $10. You are out of here. You're out of here." And yeah, I had her booted out. I just wasn't in the mood. A lot of times people think we like hecklers. Some
Right.
comics do. Some comics do. I don't mind them, but you know, I'm paid to do a show. Some people came to see a show. They didn't come to see the heckler person. But sometimes you can't avoid it. So, but yeah, that's the few times that I probably should have canceled, but uh, but I didn't. I didn't cancel.
Well, speaking of shows, so do you prepare for your shows? Obviously, and you have different shows because you have the family friendly and then the adult and stuff. But do you ever just kind of go in and ad lib the crowd?
Oh, sure. Yeah, on the cruise line with Carnival, we have we do 5 shows. We do 2 family friendly. Everybody's invited, and then we do the adult shows. And getting prepared. Once you've been doing it as long as I have, getting prepared for me is taking a shower. That's about it. Um, but when and then on Princess, I have to do 2 45-minute shows. So I do a show, say at 7 o'clock. Then I do that same show at 9 o'clock. And then 2 days later, I have to do a different 45 minutes and I repeat that show. So I do 4 shows per cruise with Princess, or sometimes just 3. But like going to Oklahoma City next week, Wednesday night, I pretty much do what I want. And I may or may not come to ad libbing with the crowd. But the thing is on Thursday night, it's going to be a totally different crowd as opposed to on a cruise ship. So Thursday night, I'll do the same thing, or I can just cut up. You just see how it goes. And since I've only worked 5 shows. I don't know how it's going to go. So I did 2 shows here in Utah. Let's see, when was that? August 21st and 22nd at Wise Guys Comedy Cafe in downtown Ogden. And They were great shows. They were great shows, but it was, how's it work? To me, I was like, I was like, oh, this doesn't feel right. But they loved it, and that's what mattered. And I loved them. So
Cool. Well, it's a couple of minutes after 8, so I think we're about 2 minutes over an hour. We can stay longer if you're good, or you got your food coming, right?
actually, it's funny. You just said that. First of all, we've been a little over an hour. That's because I didn't know what I was doing the first 10 minutes. That's why. And as you're saying that on my phone, my doorbell, my video doorbell just said there's motion at your door. So that means my food, as my dinner for my wife and my son and I, has just arrived. So yeah, I had to do it. I've enjoyed being with you. I hope you guys continue to do this. Will this be replayed at all? So I could.
Yeah, it's out there on YouTube, so it'll be there. So when I stop recording, it'll just you can replay it.
Okay.
You should be able to look at the chat if you want to look at the replay the live chat as well if you want to see.
Oh, okay.
I know we had a few people in there. There were some comments, but it's kind of hard to look at comments when you got a guest. So I apologize to my guests for not responding to your comments and whatnot. But we do have some people that have been watching.
If those were comments from my comedian friends that I'm thinking of, whenever I go live or do one of these, a lot of the comedian friends, we go in there. Let's say you're interviewing a comic next week or whatever. I'll come in there and we just heckle the comic through the chat. So I mean, maybe there were some legitimate questions. If somebody asks, you can remember, I'll try to answer them now. But I just want to be able to put the link on my Facebook page and my fan page and Instagram and Twitter and all that to go, hey, if you missed it, here you can go right here and watch it again.
Yeah, I apologize for not getting you the current YouTube live link before the show. I had several things all happening at one time, and I forgot to send that particular link to you. But it's funny you mentioned Bud, because right after I sent you the link, Bud came to the studio, and I could see somebody's there, but they didn't connect microphone or video. And I'm like, who is Bud?
Oh, wait, you know what I did? That's funny. Was he wearing orange?
Well, he didn't have his video on, so I couldn't tell.
Okay, good. No, what happened was you sent me the link to join, and which was different from the link that I had put on my Facebook page. So when you sent me that link for me to join you, I sent it to my brother via text.
Gotcha.
And then I went, wait a minute, this is not right. And then I text messaged him back and said, no, go to that other link that's on my Facebook page. So that's why. And I actually even I put the first link that you sent me, the live one, I put that on my fan page. And then I realized, wait, that's not right. Otherwise, we'd have had numerous people trying to join in. But I don't know if you can see my son back there somewhere. Where'd he go?
Yeah.
You hide. Oh, he's hide. That means I'm sitting in his computer chair, his $300 computer chair, whatever it is. Thing reclines. It's got a footrest. It's amazing what these guys have. But he's here. He's checking his computer. This is his area, and that means my dinner's here. So yeah, we're gonna have to wrap it up, Chris.
Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I will post all your links in the details of the live. So if somebody comes back, a couple of days from now, they can click on details and they can see all your links to your show, your page, and everything. So thank you so much for coming on.
Again, thank you. And one more time, a shout out to my brother who's at Clearwater Correctional Center in Oklahoma City, and all his people that are in there with him. A shout out to Hell Monkey Cycles over in Clearfield, Utah. Those guys know I love them. The Chick-fil-A over in Layton, Utah. Wise Guys Comedy Cafe. My realtor, Mark Apuna. A lot of people that I know come in and watch these things and have been supporting me here locally. I appreciate all that. So, and I appreciate you, Chris, but I do have to take off.
My shout out.
All right. All right. And my shout out to My son just said, "Where's my shout out?" So my shout out to my son Taryn, who just walked up into my video like his thing, all up in my grill, all up in your space. He's all up in my grill. He can actually wrap that. Do that Hamilton stuff you do. Yeah. On your podcast. Yeah, it's not a pod. My son's a professional actor, but he's also a singer and he plays piano. I think he's getting ready to get on the piano now. But we watched that Hamilton play, and he just, if you haven't seen Hamilton, it's great. It's rap basically, and he knows all the songs. Oh yeah, so whenever he's with me in the car, he's always rapping and singing and stuff. It's great. But again, when we get out of here, I'll talk to you here off.
Thank you. Hope to have you back again.
All right, thank you, Chris. Send me the link just in case, and you guys be safe. Wear your mask if you want to, and hope to see you on the cruise ship soon, brother.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Well, guys, I guess that'll wrap up our show tonight. We had a couple of glitches in the beginning, but I hope you had a good time. I hope to have some more guests coming on. So have a good night.